Hey, hello everyone. This is Mark Ernstman of CorasWorks. Thank you for joining us today for our webcast on IDIQ task order management for Microsoft SharePoint. I'm joined today by William Rogers. William is a CorasWorks co-founder and also our Chief Workplace Architect, and he will be leading the majority of our presentation today. And as you may expect, William has a few slides that he'll walk through, but a lot of the presentation today will be a demonstration of our IDIQ task order management solution. All right. It is now my pleasure to introduce Mr. William Rogers.
Thank you, Mark Ernstman. That was Mark Ernstman, our renowned MC and also Vice President of Marketing. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is William Rogers, and thank you very much for attending today. This is a hot solution, very important space. As Mark said, the agenda, we're going to do a few slides, cover some stuff, and we're going to spend about half of our time doing demonstrations. I think it's important to work people and show people how the flow works of IDIQ task order management, not just a bunch of features, but from a business perspective. And I like doing that, so we'll do quite a bit of demonstration here. So with that, probably not everybody on the phone is familiar with CorasWorks Corporation, so I'll give you a little background. We've been at this for 10 years, since 2003, delivering our products and solutions to the SharePoint community. And back when we first started in 2003, there wasn't much of a community, but over the last 10 years, it's grown quite a bit. We're known really for focusing on business solutions in an area we call collaborative work management. So all the things you're trying to do to get work done, your tasks, your requests, processes, programs, projects, general collaboration amongst that, it's all that soft stuff of trying to get people to work better together. And we do this on top of the SharePoint platform because you end up getting a great total cost of ownership, and you're able to leverage this CorasWorks SharePoint environment for many applications as part of your work environment. And lots and lots, thousands and thousands of applications. Now, the interesting thing about CorasWorks is, and you'll see how this plays out in IDIQ, is that about every year of all the applications built with CorasWorks, about 80% are built by our customers. So it isn't just selling the off-the-shelf solutions, but it's empowering people to build applications, extend what they do without having to do custom development. It's this new world of puttyware. So we were kind of a leader in that space, as recognized by Microsoft and Gartner and others. So with that, let me just give you a sense of some of the folks that are customers of ours. In particular, for you all, we have a lot of federal contractors who've been in that space for a while. We have about more than 50% of the top 50 federal contractors in revenue in the world, U.S. federal contractors. We also have a really big, in the lower left-hand corner, you'll see a bunch of seals. We have a very large presence in the federal government. The vast majority of the Marines, Army, Navy, state. So big deployment of CorasWorks as a platform, and then our federal contractors and systems integrators deliver solutions on top of that to the federal government. With that, let's talk more specifically about federal contractors. As I said, federal contractors have been customers of CorasWorks, a large segment for their internal operations, but also kind of as partners or friends of CorasWorks delivering solutions to the federal government. So we kind of work on both sides of that. About a year ago, actually January, a little more than a year ago, CorasWorks decided to build a vertical industry-specific business in federal contractors. And so working with our customers, we went out there, and our customers have been building things with CorasWorks for years. And the whole purpose was to go into the space, find the most popular solutions, applications, productize them, bring them back to market, and add value to the federal contractor ecosystem. And when we did that, going with our customers, ranging from very big businesses to small, CorasWorks is used for many different types of solutions, from your BD type solutions, IDIQ, capture and proposal, to your project and program with dedicated program management environments, innovation systems, business processes, so lots of different solutions, probably a good 100. But the ones we really focused on, what we're after, is what are really the core to build our business around. And the three that we've focused in on are three kind of our off-the-shelf COTS solutions in this space, are capture and proposal management, IDIQ task order management, and project and program delivery. And these are three off-the-shelf products, and then you can wrap around them all of the other processes and things that you want to do. But the reason is that these three really work together. In this slide, you see what I call the core federal contractor work stream. If you do these three things well, you will probably be quite successful. If you fail, or you do it not so well, you will be far less successful, because these are really the core things you have to do. A lot of supporting things around it, but so these are the three elements, and they all tie together, really. Now, the new one is IDIQ task order management. Now, new in the sense of capture and proposal, we've been doing that forever, project programs doing it forever. But this IDIQ task order management is the one over the last year really has had the hot button. Clearly, this administration is moving more towards this methodology of purchasing. It is a growing business. The small business community has dramatically started getting into becoming a prime contractor on IDIQs, and the government is supporting this. Many of our recompetes in the larger contracts are coming out as IDIQs or task orders. It's a changing world, and IDIQ is kind of at this new center of that. So if you're a big business, it's used to the large contracts, it's about getting nimble, getting to the next gen, becoming efficient, getting your business units to be more efficient. If you're the small business, it's about being able to jump into the game, but do it at a high level and get started quite quickly. So we found this to be kind of our core main solution or hottest solution over the last year, and I think it'll be that way for the next few years during this administration. All right, let's see. So we've talked a bit about federal contractors and our general solutions, so now let's focus on IDIQ task order management. So the first thing I want to say about this is that our customers are not the same. So every organization is different. So I just want to cover three examples specifically in the IDIQ world to give you a sense about how this solution is deployed in different ways. In the upper left is an organization. It's a top 10 in revenues, federal contractor, a few $1 billion. And they've used CorasWorks for close to 7, 8 years now to build up an IDIQ GWAC center. So they currently have 30 or more IDIQs, both prime and sub, 6,000 task orders, $800 million worth of business, 300 team partners. This is a big system. Now, what's interesting about it is it's very specifically focused on that IDIQ GWAC center. So most of the proposal work, the project work, the other things that are done over in the business units. This is just that high volume, make it happen, transactional. They've been very successful in this model. On the right is an example of a new one. Not everyone's a big business. So recently, over the last years, we've kind of productized this. We've started to sell to smaller businesses, mid-sized businesses. So this is an example of a $25 million business unit, just a business unit, and they just won their first prime contract and wanted to have a system to be able to manage that one prime contract. Now, this is a death snare because the business unit is doing all the proposals themselves. They're also managing the task orders. It's a services contract, so it's integrated with an HR staffing request system. Again, all CorasWorks. It's a very tight solution. And that organization looks, gradually they're going to get more IDIQs and expand the CorasWorks to their capture and proposal and even probably project delivery. The third one down below is interesting because it's an integrated system. So it's a $1 billion federal contractor, and it's integrated between the IDIQ system but also their proposal center. And they actually started with the proposal center about 5 years ago, which they acquired through an acquisition, a customer that had built their proposal center on CorasWorks, and then it was adopted by this organization as their corporate standard. They had the proposal center. Then over the last year, they added first their IDIQ GWAC center, then a couple business units, and now they're rolling this out to more business units. And all that task order work, that proposal work, the shared proposal asset libraries, they're all shared. And it's really an integrated system, but not necessarily centralized. So different units can kind of have it their way. That's one of the benefits of this CorasWorks on SharePoint services approach. And so it's really about understanding what situation you're in and targeting the solution towards your needs. Now, those are the general pictures to get you thinking about where you're coming from. This particular demonstration that I'm going to show you is targeted towards a situation that's a multi-ward IDIQ, or multiple IDIQs, I should say. Could be a central IDIQ center, or it could be in a business unit. And we target this towards prime contractors, and that primarily means that there's a lot of work with interacting with the teaming partner communities, your external writers, other people outside of the organization, particularly those teaming partners in driving that business, both for task orders you receive and also future opportunities, and having that as the whole system. So if you look at the basic flow of any in this kind of environment, you have your new task orders, you then do your teaming partner business unit engagement, get that input on those new task orders. Then you make your bid, no bid assessments. You do that quick proposal development in your 7 to 20 days. And then you submit your award. Now, with CorasWorks, you can also have next steps to drive it into your task order reporting and delivery, assuming that you want it, or managing the project. Down below, we kind of show the different modules that are part of our core system. There's 6 modules in the core system. And I'll be showing you a management hub at the top, and then you have multiple vehicles, IDIQ-A, IDIQ-B, and each vehicle then has individual sites for each task order that kind of follow the life cycle. If it's a no bid, there's not going to be much there. If it goes all the way through bid, there could be a lot. And then you have your teaming partners you're working with, but also your master knowledge, your proposal and asset libraries, past performance, that kind of stuff. All of this works as a single system. And today I'll show you just an additional supporting activity for subcontractor administration that we kind of bolt on to give you a sense of the extensibility. But this is all what I'm going to show you today. So with that, let me stop the slideware and go to live demonstration. So what you're seeing here is the IDIQ Management Hub. Now we call it a Management Hub because the purpose of this, it's really your dashboard for your portfolio of IDIQ vehicles. So this particular demonstration I'm showing you is version 2.1 of this solution running on SharePoint 2010. Now for the technical people there, you won't really know that it's SharePoint, but it is running on SharePoint 2010. This particular hub, it would be used in situations where you have multiple IDIQ vehicles, maybe an IDIQ center, or it could be just a business group, the different instances for a business group. And what I'm looking at here are a number of different vehicles. The first one that I'll be doing most of my demonstration with is a vehicle called Vehicle, and the other ones are standard IDIQs, CIO, SP3, DHS, Eagle, etc. For each of these vehicles, you have your dashboard. From here, you can enter in new task orders. You can see those that are in the bid assessment stage, pending EOIs, tasks, and total task orders. By the way, EOI is what we use for a partner survey. It's an expression of interest. You also see your future opportunities, those that are pending. So it's quite dashboardy. In one click, you can drill down. Up at the top, again, you're aggregating, so you can see task orders across all of your IDIQs, your expressions of interest across all of your IDIQs. Here I'm seeing my task orders in the various stages that they're in across my different IDIQs. Expressions of interest, future opportunities from partners. I can look at my portfolio reporting and get my portfolio charts, aggregated, comparative, etc. All from up here at the dashboard layer. Now, this is really a productivity site in the sense that in many situations, like a GUAC center, it's really about the administrator, task order administrator, somebody, grabbing those task orders, putting them in, not spending a lot of time. So what I'm going to do is actually, I want to actually go hands-on here. So we're going to create a new task order. So first of all, I've received a task order probably from email, and I'm going to upload my request documents. So we'll start with my instruction to offerers and my performance work statement. And I'll give the task order a name. Let's say this is TRADOC Logistics. By the way, in this form, all the fields I show and everything, it's all configurable with our wizards. And just about everything I'm going to show you in this demonstration is configurable using CorasWorks wizards. So exactly what fields there, what they're named, what the form is, which fields are shown, displays, actions, workflow, it's all configurable. That's CorasWorks. So let's see, TRADOC Logistics Support. The customer agency is TRADOC. It's U.S. Army. Department is TRADOC. We'll go down here. The release date is today. One of the nice little CorasWorks features, I can just put the number in 0. That's today. The due date is in 10 days. Time zone is Eastern at 5 p.m. And maybe another request number. Maybe it's, maybe I don't. Let's say I do. Put a request number in there. So various fields. This is a task order versus an RFP or a pre-release task order. Contract type, let's say it's time and materials. Again, you can have different fields. Showing here, these are just standard out of the box. Do a little security clearance, level of effort. And we'll say it's we're going to target this business unit. And just click OK. So I enter in the task order. It has my request documents. And notice my task order number, it jumped from 10 to 11 for that vehicle. And so I can sit here and I can hit my different forms and enter in new task orders. And by the way, for different vehicles, my forms can be slightly different. That's okay. You have different fields. Different program managers may want it a little differently. So with that, what I'm going to do is now I'm going to drill down from the management hub. I'm going to go actually down into the vehicle. All right, so now I'm in this exciting vehicle called Vehicle. I'm on the home page. This is the task order process. So you'll see I could have entered the task order from right here. Let's say I'm the program manager, and I can see very quickly how many items I have at different stages across the whole. These 4 buttons here, receive, bid assessment, these represent the stages that I'm pushing the task order through. So if you think of it now, perhaps I'm the proposal manager or the task order manager as opposed to the administrator entering in this task orders. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on receive. And you'll see my new task order here, and it has a little green arrow. Now, one of the things about CorasWorks, when you create new task orders, you can set it up so there's auto provisioning. So what has happened is when I, as the administrator, entered in that task order, it's set up so at that point in time, it auto provisions the site. Now, in SharePoint, that would be called a SharePoint site. So if I go here and click, I'll drill down. There's actually a SharePoint site that's already set up, pre-configured and tied into, integrated into the overall system. And I'll come back and cover this more, but this is the site where I actually do the proposal development, I manage my calendar, my schedule, and it might serve me through the life cycle. So this is at the 3rd level down, if you will. So let me pop back up to the vehicle and go back to received. So here in this display, I'm seeing the items that have been received in the last 24 hours, and standard CorasWorks, this is what's called a display, and then I have my actions. Now, in a CorasWorks world, these actions are all customizable, which ones you have, et cetera. I can view the item, pop out emails, do different things. And at this stage, very simply, I've already set up the site. Everything's ready to go. All I'm going to do is run an action that's going to move this puppy from this item over to the bid assessment stage. So it leaves here. It's gone. I've moved it through. Maybe if I'm the administrator, I've done my job. Now let's go to bid assessment. So I'm here, and you'll see that there are a number of items in the bid assessment stage. Some have nice little icons of people, and some have green arrows. The ones with people mean that those items are out for the partner and business unit surveys. the ones with green arrows mean that not only were they surveyed, but we've also made our bid decision and they're ready to be moved to proposal development. But as you see, this one doesn't have people or green arrows. So there are a number of things I can do at this stage. I can view the task order, edit it. But really what I want to do is I want to take this puppy and I want to send it out for a survey. Now I could choose an action just to publish it for the partner survey, in which we'd get an expression of interest back from the partner. I could just send it out to the business unit. But I'm going to run an action called send it out. And it's just going to get the job done. And with CorasWorks, this is what's called a chained action. So it's a workflow. You'll notice that now we've got a little people icon. We have the data when it was sent out. It makes some changes in the field. And then it sends out some emails and gets everything set up for the partners to do their expressions of interest in surveys. I'm waiting for emails to come through. My email system doesn't seem so fast. Yeah, here you go. Now I've got two emails. So the first email, very simply, is one that's sent out to the business unit. And again, these can be customized. Very simple email that it's time to do a bid assessment. When they click, they'll be brought back into the system to the bid assessment stage. We also have a business unit dashboard, so they can come back to the business unit dashboard. But in terms of the partner surveys, the email that the partners get is something like this. So we post a new task order for this IDIQ. It gives you a little information about the particular task order, the release date, the due date, and what you need to do is click to go to your partner site. It'll actually take me into the partner site. I have a number of task orders here. At the bottom, I show the ones I've responded to in the last 30 days. At the top, I have task orders that I need to respond to. If I click on like NIH Innovation System, I see information that's been published from inside the system. If I click on another item, I'll see that information. Now what I want to do as a partner is come here, review the task order, look at the performance work statement, et cetera, and then submit my EOI. So I'll click over here to submit my EOI. And again, these are standard questions. You could do it the way you want, but I'm going to say, yes, I'm interested in participating. No, I'm not an incumbent. Can I take this task? Yes. Did I have influence in the RFP? No. Can I contribute to the proposal writing? Yes. See, attached. I'm actually going to attach my past performance. Let's say this is my cyber past performance. And I'll submit that back. So then that leaves there, and it goes into the bottom. Now when I go back to, I'm working the partner side. Now I'm going to flip my hat back, and I'm going to go back into the management site. So here are the items that I'm actually working on that are in the bid assessment stage. From here, if I go to another view, I go to the partner expression of interest. So right here, without it going anywhere else, I can actually see the partners and their expression of interest right here. So I go through, I see what they've done. And by the way, if you have this partner one keeps doing everything, but if you have a lot of items in here, a lot of partners, very simply you can just search and drill right down to the particular task order you're working on and see all the different partners and their expressions of interest. If I go back to all my expressions of interest, you'll see that some of my expressions of interest I haven't, like this Air Force Strategic Comm, I haven't responded to yet. If I right-click from here again, I can mark as interested or no thank you and respond directly from here. Again, that interactivity between me and the partner. And then the partner may get an email and go to their site. I need to make my decision. I'm going to go to my task order bid. On this particular item, I'm actually going to log a bid decision. And I'll say we are going to bid it, and we're going to bid this one, let's say we're going to bid it teamed. Changes my little arrow. Maybe I go in and I set up the site to get ready because I'm now about to move it over to the, actually let me do this. Let me also just go in here and I'm going to put in partner 1 as my team's partner. Any of these actions, one of the key things is notice these little actions to do. They're not right or wrong. You can, depending upon what you want to do as a program manager or how you want it done, you can have different actions. They're really there to automate the work and standardize the work that's getting done. So I do a couple things. Now I'm just going to take this item, it's now ready, and I'm going to promote it to proposal development. So I'm pushing along the process, it's going over to proposal development, and it's moving quite quickly through the process. So now I'm over in proposal development, and of course at this stage there are a number of actions you can do. Updating the proposal, reporting the Word decision. This could be a long stage, or in this case short, maybe 10 days, because it's a task order. But the key thing that you're going to do is you're going to drill down. So I'm going to drill down into the TradeDoc logistics support. Let me give you just a quick sense of what goes on down here. So when I go to development, I have a number of different libraries. So my task order request documents, my response documents, where I'm uploading response documents, you'll see it's blank. I haven't put any in there. Graphics, delivery documents, commenting. But when I come in here as a project manager, one of the first things I may do is kind of set this up as a proposal manager. So I'm going to go to this tab here, which is Vehicle Library. Elsewhere in the system, there's essentially managed library of forms and templates, and I'll show you this for past performance also. And what I may want to do is just pull in the forms I want to use for this task order. So I'm just going to access the library. I'm going to pull in the executive, management, and technical volumes. And we're going to run a little action called fetch. And we're going to pull them in, and category is main proposal, categorize them, and we're sucking those in, putting them into the system. Now, I'm not uploading from my hard drive. I'm not rummaging around. There's a nice centrally managed proposal asset library as part of the solution for forms, whatever. And I'm just pulling those items in to start off with. I may also want to pull in my pricing workbook. So we'll just grab that little puppy, and we'll fetch that. So again, make it very simple to have this as an integrated system. And it's quite important when you imagine that you have these central libraries, but across all these different task orders, you want to have some consistency and standards. In addition, for this item, there might be some past performance. So there's another library for past performance, and you can have different proposal asset libraries. And maybe I'll grab my cyber and security items, and I'll fetch those puppies in. And I just pull it in for past performance. So then when I go to my response documents now, I'm not just starting with a clean slate and having to upload everything, but I have all these documents already uploaded in the system. Now, I can be using native SharePoint and upload documents manually. That's fine. We support that. We could check in, check out all those nice SharePoint features. But the key thing with CorasWorks is I have, again, my actions to automate the work that I'm doing, updating the documents, pushing them out for writer tasks, sending out emails, marking as approved, changing statuses, etc. I can act on one or multiple documents right here and control the situation. In addition, as you add documents, graphics, other things, there's an all documents. In this case, I only have response documents, but if I have different libraries and stuff, it'll all show in one view. Now, there's also the management tab. Here, I can manage the task orders. I can do things like specifically assign tasks, create new tasks or writer tasks, kick those off, drive processes to do that so that are related to this item. They may be for internal people or external, related to the proposal or supporting groups, like subcontractor or legal for conflict of interest. All that can be kicked off right from in here. Let me go back to the vehicle for a second. I've shown you kind of the breadth of different things and different roles as a proposal manager, as a task order administrator, program manager, partner. I want to talk a bit about configuration because this is the out of the box. But what's important is that you can have your flavor. So I'm going to do a little flavoring for the next 5 minutes. So here I have a vehicle. Now let's say we just brought this up, and it's the new ITIS 3, if that was released, or we just won DHS Eagle. And when I spin up my IDIQ vehicle, I want it to be custom flavored a little bit. So CorasWorks does a number of things. So I'll go to configuration. I have what's called a feature designer. And some of the features for this particular vehicle, when it gets instantiated, and by the way, that's auto-provisioned also, I can turn on or off. So in this case, I'm going to turn on my watch list. Now, the reason is that's going to feed into I'm going to use that to feed into this particular vehicle. I'm also going to turn on a pipeline view for reporting, and I want that really available, so I'm actually going to drag that and move that pipeline up to the task order process. I make my little configuration changes, decide what features I want, I save my layout, and my changes are there. So in a matter of seconds, I have my watch list. Now the watch list, when partners are entering in future opportunities or business units, these are things that the task orders aren't released. They put in the opportunities. What happens is I can have these opportunities, and when they get released under a different specific vehicle, I can then pop it up and push that item from the bulk, the general watch list inbox, if you will, and push it into the specific vehicle and kind of kick the process off from here. In addition, the pipeline is just a nice little feature that shows me all of the items across all the different stages in one view, and then I can act on those items right here. So it just makes life a little simple, pop off emails, etc. I like those two features. I'll turn them on. Now I get to thinking about my bid assessment, and this is where you get down to the little nitty-gritty details. So I have these items here, and I'm sending these things out, and we decide that, I don't need this publish for partner survey. I don't need email did no bid. I just want to send it out. So the display, the fields, the actions, how's that change? Now, the whole point is you don't have to hire CorasWorks and CorasWorks Professional Services, and you don't have to wait for version 2.2 and 2.3 because we empower you to do things on your own. So the way that's done, by the way, for you IT folks, if we give these power users the rights, right, if you want to open it up and empower those business users, they can be empowered to do things like this. So I'm going to bring up my display wizard. And you'll see the views that are showing here. 2 are showing and 1 is not yet showing. I'm going to click Edit. This is the CorasWorks display wizard. From here I can change the columns that are showing, what names they have if they show, like attachments. This says attaches. That's not a good name. I'm going to call it docs. The fields, filters, grouping, how I group things, all these good things, display options, my colors, because I may like blue. But the key thing is when I go to actions, I have the availability for particular display in CorasWorks to choose which actions I want to show. So I don't need these 2 actions here, publish or partner survey and this, because they're really part of a chained action, send it out, and we standardized on that. So I'm just going to remove those out of the list. While I'm here, I'm also going to do something else, which is I'm going to actually add in an action called request subcontractor SOW, and I'll explain that in a minute. But I'm actually adding one. So I take 2 away, I add 1. So I guess I'm down 1. All right.
Or up 1.
Up 1. Is it more, is less more, or more is less? I don't know. I get confused these days. All right. So now I'm just clicking Finish to finish this configuration change. All right, so first of all, you notice that at the top it says docs as opposed to attaches. And then when I right-click this, I have a number of actions. So I send it out, I've gotten rid of 2, and I have this new request subcontractor SOW. So first of all, that shows you how easy it is just to kind of configure things, because for each vehicle, or as you learn, as you process changes, this configurability, this puttyware nature of CorasWorks is really what empowers you to optimize at the business unit level or as you learn, and really drive your competitive advantage by getting better as you go along. Now, that's good about customizing the base, but let's say I want to add a complete new feature for subcontractor administration. This is common, say, at with business users when you're in a business unit and you're working at a detail level on proposals. Oftentimes you work with other groups of people. But if you're a business unit, you're working with legal, you're working with the subcontractor, contract administration, pricing, all these different HR and these different groups. So what I want to show you is how to add a supporting activity. If I'm on an item here, I want to select an item, and I want to go and kick off a request. So what I did is I added an action to this display so that I can kick off a request. So we'll say revise SOW for more work. Standard thing that we're doing, telling them to revise the SOW. I'm going to give you 2 days. It's important, time sensitive. It's always urgent, right? Okay, the request type, this is a task order, subcontractor SOW. I could also maybe be on-ramping the subcontractor, doing NDAs, however you want to set it up. So I go and kick that off. And then if I go to subcontractor administration and refresh my screen, now over here, I'm able to watch and able to look at my request and then manage my requests. And from here, assign the request, notify whatever work I do here will be reflected back in the bid assessment stage. That completes my demonstration. Let me go to back to my PowerPoint. I hope you guys have had enough of the fill. A couple things to sum up. It's a version 2.1 is the current shipping version of the IDIQ Task Order Management Solution. Key thing is what I've shown you is really out of the box. It's the base solution, implemented with a couple days of work. You get started very, very quickly because oftentimes organizationally you don't know how to work together. You can do lots of PowerPoints and charts on your workflow. Until you get the people working and interacting, different people will then decide to play. So getting started quickly and then being able to custom tailor it is important. And then this whole ability to customize the solution, deploy it in different instances for different purposes, integrate it, enhance it, extend it out for your supporting activities, integrate with external solutions, external systems, your HR systems, Documentum, Oracle. Again, natively we support all of that. And the bottom line is also just the fact that with CorasWorks and SharePoint, again, it's this total cost of ownership. Really, it's about doing more for less. I mean, it is clear our adoption to the federal marketplace, the federal contractor marketplace, and in general, is because people are leveraging this platform approach of CorasWorks and SharePoint. So you're building multiple applications, multiple solutions, expanding the work you're doing, and not nickel and diming, paying more money for every single solution because you can build your own. Mark?
All right, thank you, William. And thank you again for joining us today. I know you have a lot of things going on in your workday, and we're very appreciative that you chose to spend the last hour with us. Hopefully it was informative. Hopefully it was useful. So again, thank you all very much, and have a great day.